welcome to everybody to you tonight. Femininity is not just lipstick, stylish hair does, and trendy clothes. It is the divine adornment of humanity. It finds expression in your qualities of your capacity to love, your spirituality, delicacy, radiance, sensitivity, creativity, charm, graciousness, gentleness, dignity, and quite strength. James E. Faust, it was a man who said this. Today we will talk about the center of femininity. We talk about Yoni Constellations. My name is Christine Astor, and I have the honor to introduce you with Irmgard and her valuable work. Irmgard is an author, seminar leader, and trained psychotherapist who has worked in many psychosomatic clinics. And as you can imagine, she encountered sexual abuse frequently in her work. Over many years, she developed her own Tantra studies focusing on femininity. The experience of how the yoni is revered in Tantra has profoundly influenced her current work. Irmgard, you've been offering Yoni Constellations for about 4 years, but you have been a facilitator for about 28 years. And you even studied with Bert Hellinger himself. Could you tell us why you developed the Yoni Constellations? And before you tell us, you just introduce yourself.
Thank you, Christine, for your wonderful introduction and your wonderful words. My name is Irmgard Rosa Maria Rauscher, and I'm a psychotherapist. And yes, like you said, I developed Yoni Constellations because as a psychotherapist, I have made the experience that many women do not have a loving relationship with their wonderful bodies and their divine yoni. When women look at her yoni, touch it or play with it, then they often feel shame, disgust, or guilt instead of joy, pride, and dignity. Down there is still a big taboo zone for many women, regardless of their age. And because this is very sad and obviously needs a lot of healing, I have made it to my mission to create a way for women to get in contact with their yoni. Connected with the yoni, a woman celebrates her beauty. She loves herself, and also she gets the blissful essence of a goddess. And in several self-experiments, I started to set up my yoni. And each time I was very surprised what it had to tell me. And so then I realized that this could be helpful and important for many women to increase their feminine power, their feminine self-esteem.
Thank you. I think this sounds really great and interesting. A dialogue with your yoni. This, I think, is maybe for many of us very new. And yeah, throughout your life, you met a lot of women with were wounded, and yeah, and of course, it's also the patriarchal structures which are involved in these wounds and. Yeah, I think it's very important for us actually to get known to our own body and to be at peace and, as you said, to enjoy it also.
The yoni can store a significant amount of stressful informations and unresolved trauma.
Mm-hmm.
Many thousands of years of patriarchy, oppression, devaluation, to the feminine is leaves their mark on the sensitive womb space. And negative experience and injuries from our ancestors are passed on via epigenetic levels and shape us also, whether we know it or not. So every woman should be the expert of her yoni. When a woman knows what her yoni wants, this is, she can openly and confidently talk about her preferences and wishes. And this definitely stimulates the relationship and boosts her self-confidence at the same time. If a woman feels safe with her partner, she can allow real intimacy. She can communicate her desires and, which is very important, define her limits.
That sounds really interesting, and I think worth it to go further and to listen to hear more from you. And I think we all agree that women suffered a lot of suppression and sexual abuse for thousands of years, and it still happens every day in many countries. So your wish is really to heal women, and not only women who have really suffered abuse, all of us. And there are different levels of maybe we don't have any special wounds, but still it's in our, maybe we are ashamed, or it strengthens, as you said, our self-confidence. If we are really in contact with our yoni, if we really know what we need, what we want, and we can communicate it to our partners. So please let us know, how does a yoni constellation differ from a family constellation, for example? Because you started with family constellations, and then you set up this yoni constellation, which sounds really interesting, and I think we all want to hear and learn more about this.
In a yoni constellation, I work with special positions. At the one hand side, the yoni is set up and has a voice and feelings. If there is a psychology problem or a physical problem, or a wish for a partner, or desire to have children, or also frustration in sexuality, all these issues get its own position. In addition to is also the message. I set up a message of the symptom. We should know that every symptom or problem, no matter which one, have or carries information, a message. Mm-hmm. And other positions can be sacred feminine, the healer, the wise old woman, an archangel, a beloved ancestor, a power animal, and so on, but also personal resources, talents, and our skills, and also courage, maybe, joy, things like that. And at the end, in order to achieve a sustainable solution, I create a so-called support team in the female final phase of the constellation. This is put together individually for each woman. And this can include a mother, a beloved grandmother, a power animal. This can include a certain talent like drawing or writing or singing. It can be sexuality. It can, yeah, it can be the healer. It can be the wise old woman, and so on. At the end of the constellation, I often play a favorite song of the client to have the body cells vibrating too, because it goes a little bit deeper when the body cells are vibrating. And the background is always an unresolved trauma which damage or disturb and, yeah, the energy field of a family system.
So what I understood now is that Yoni constellation goes beyond a classical family constellation by involving special positions, giving actually the Yoni a voice, a language. So it can talk to me and it can tell me how it feels and where it doesn't feel good and what happened, and can tell me also the way maybe I treat her, and it addresses symptoms or desires such as physical or mental issues, even a wish for a child, as you said, or a partner, or it talks about sexual blockages, each given their, and each of these things are given their own position so that they can talk and you can hear. And I think it's really interesting to really get known. I'm also very familiar with the family constellations, and it's always interesting to hear what grandmother is telling and the grandfather, and even here you can do this and externalize actually what the Yoni wants to tell you. And then I've understood that you are creating a team, a virtual team, let's say, that helps the woman to heal and helps, and she can, it's like a resource. She can always talk to them. They're always with her.
Yes, yes, that's true, exactly.
And these symptoms are carrying messages. And you will find out important things about the trauma of due from these symptoms. When they are talking, you can hear and listen to it. Where I was actually wounded, and how do you determine when the original trauma causing the current symptoms occurred?
To find out in which system the unresolved, the original trauma lies, I use a method my husband, Dr. Karl-Heinz Rauscher, developed. And this is the so-called four-column test. I use it to test a trauma in a family system of origin, a father side or mother side, a personal trauma in this life, a trauma in the present family system, or a trauma in a former life. In the case of personal trauma in this life or in this previous life, lost parts of the soul can be, or parts of the soul can become trapped in the trauma freeze. And the solution here is to conscious acceptance and integrate it.
So at the end, you get out of your Yoni constellation and you feel more as a whole. You really feel that there is something, which was missing, came back to you. This sounds really great. I think, good thing. But does it always have to be a trauma that blocks the Yoni? and impairs erotism and sexuality and creates symptoms? Does it really have to be always a trauma, really?
Almost always unresolved trauma.
Okay.
However, it has not to, it is not always a single trauma event. For example, I talk about developing trauma or stressful information if you grow up in a family where more or less hostility towards women and female values, bigotry, religious discrimination, addiction, abuse, illness, aggression or violence, or emotional coldness are common. All these influences damage and ensure a sensitive womb space and area.
Thank you. I think we are not really aware what injures us so much, and we push it some way, we push it away, we keep on going, we have to do so many things. We are the ones, we are the Wonder Womans, we have career, we have children, we have this and that household and everything we are doing. And well, this thing with the sex, if we are lucky, it works, and if not, well, okay, just go on with it. And that's just very sad, as you say, because it's so basic, and it's our femininity. Sorry, this word is really difficult for me. And it strengthens us from the ground, from the basis. And maybe as I really imagine also that these patriarchal structures in which we still live weaken the feminine as a collective, you know, not only one single woman, all of us in a collective.
Exactly, Christine.
So I think with your work, you're doing really something great. And not only for this, if one of us heals, if I heal myself, I'm doing this not only for me, I'm doing it for all the women on this world and for my ancestors. And I think this is also wonderful, this idea that it's not only my personal issue. Tell me, how does actually the Yoni Constellation seminar work? Do we have to take our clothes off or something? Well, you're laughing, but I heard attendees often ask these questions, so let us know.
Yeah, in a Yoni Constellation workshop, we all remain dressed. Maybe we take clothes off after a wild dance, but in the meantime, we all remain dressed. We sit in a circle on meditation cushions on the floor, and there is a so-called altar with flowers, with candles, with goddess figures, with pictures, with power objects, with goddess cards. And there are books, books about sexuality, books about exercises in the pelvic muscle space, books about the anatomical characteristics of the 9 different yoni types that all can use during the breaks. And yeah, there in addition to the Yoni constellations, there will be music and dance, guided inner journeys, lectures, of course, sharings, of course, rituals, meditations. So if we meet as women in a circle, this is also lots of humor and female magic. That's what's important to tell you. And after a Yoni workshop, so Sunday afternoon or Sunday evening, the women feel a strong sisterhood and a loving solidarity. And this is always wonderful to experience for all of us. Yes, with which issues come the women to me? So some have a lack of blossoming, a lack of self-esteem, a lack of success in professional life. They have maybe, or they have emotional or sexual abuse. They have lost children. They have pregnancy or birth complications, sexual frustration, lack of desire, a wish for a partner or desire to have children, a physical or a mental problem or symptom. Yeah, and so on. Maybe also problems in couple relationship. There are these many issues.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, as you said before, when you were talking about your workshop, I really can feel this sisterhood and this vibrance when the women all go out and live their lives again and feel there's something different happened in their life, especially as you said, with all the issues and problems we can face in our life. This helps us to overcome it, and this is really, I think it's a great work. And we need more of this in this world, I think, would help us very, very much. And I thank you now very much for these wonderful insights of your work. And I believe we all understand now a little bit better what a Yoni constellation is and the good it can do for us women. And for those who are really interested in a private session, desiring more privacy, you can do also these one-to-one. There are the possibility to go in a workshop where I think, for me, I would love this, because to be with other women, to share and to hear them and to be with them is, I think, a great experience. But sometimes maybe we're ashamed, so you offer also this one-on-one. And you say it works as good as in the workshop. You don't need all these people now.
For a Yoni constellation, for a solution, is a one-to-one single session wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
And also maybe for the first times, yes.
Mm-hmm.
So to come slowly in a confidence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This makes sense to me, that when we hear for the first time now about your work, and then we think, okay, maybe I should go there. No, one-on-one is that easier. Yeah.
Yes.
So thank you very much. I think we come to an end now for the first part, and we stop now the recording. Thank you for the interview, and we open the space for Q&A.
Thank you, Christine.